It's just insane how the sub 4-meter compact SUV segment is hotting up. In fact, there have been so many new launches and updates in this segment that the other segments are getting overshadowed. And now we have another new entrant in this segment, and this time it's from Nissan. This funky looking thing here is the Magnite, and it has a big job on its hands. Its primary goal will be to bring in the sales numbers that have eluded the Japanese manufacturer for a long time now. And while at it, it'll also have to deal with its much established competition, primarily the Maruti Suzuki Brezza. So does the Magnite have what it takes? Let's find out. Before we go ahead, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update from your favorite channel. Design plays a very important role in how well a new car is received, and we think Nissan have done a good job with the Magnite. It's the grille that decides how imposing the car looks from the front. So what you get in the Nissan is this massive front grille. You also get these thick chrome bars on either side of the grille with this new Nissan logo adorning the center. While the grille does its job, it's the small details that really stand out. Let me show you. These headlamps don't just look sleek, but these are bi-projector LED headlamps along with LED turn indicators. Then you have these L-shaped DRLs which really stand out and add to the Magnite's looks. And finishing up the lighting are these aesthetically placed LED fog lamps. And of course, no SUV is complete without these mandatory skid plates. Now moving on to the sides, you notice the high stance, and that is thanks to the 205 mm of ground clearance. You also get other SUV elements like this thick side cladding, and you also get a nice silver insert towards the center. Now the alloy wheels, the 16-inch alloy wheels rather, sport a very interesting design, and they're wrapped in chunky 195 section rubber. Adding a beefy appeal are these squared off wheel arches, which are also quite pronounced, as you can see, while the floating roof and the thick C-pillar design add an element of sportiness to the design. Now let's move to the rear. Starting from the top, as you can see, no shark fin antenna. In fact, you get the regular antenna, which hints at Nissan saving costs. Now, playing a key role in giving the rear a sporty look is this split spoiler, which looks really nice. Talking about the tail lamps, they're nice, large split tail lamps, which look really good. However, strangely, you don't get any LEDs. You also have a very large Magnite badge running across, which aims to give the car a wider look. After which, it's a clean design right till you reach the bumper. As you can see, the bumper has 3 layers. The first layer is part of the cladding that runs from the side, and then you have this nice silver insert, and of course in the middle you have the bash plate. Overall, we think the Magnite is a good looking SUV, and Nissan has got it right with the design. But bear in mind, it does look more compact as compared to its rivals. Let us know in the comments what you think about the Magnite's looks and if it looks better than the Maruti Suzuki Brezza or not. Now talking about interiors, you get a dual tone black and grey combination with silver and chrome inserts. So you get these hexagonal air vents at the top, below which you have a clean, uncluttered dash. You get the touchscreen infotainment system in the center with the aircon controls right below. There is decent amount of storage too, and the Magnite can hold plenty of knickknacks in the center area and door pockets. Talking about the touch and feel of materials, the dashboard gets textured plastics but no soft touch materials, while the contact surfaces on the doors have been trimmed out in a grey colored soft fabric. In addition, the steering wheel, gear lever and handbrake in this top spec model get a leather cover. Plastic quality in certain areas like the center console could have been better, and also it's inconsistent in a few places, but it's nothing glaring. Now talking about the front seats, you get this nice textured layout on it. The seat itself is quite comfortable even for large frames. Now talking about the view, you get a nice high perched view, so you get a commanding view of the road ahead. Now that will be beneficial for new drivers as well. Now let's check out the back bench. Now coming to the rear bench, as you can see, I've got enough legroom, there's a decent amount of headroom, and I've got good under thigh support as well. And this is even for a tall person. You also get rear aircon vents for hot days like this. Now talking about seating 3 people abreast, 2 people can seat reasonably comfortably, there's no issue at all. But seating 3 people will be a little cozy. Now talking about the boot space, at 336 litres, it is more than the Maruti Suzuki Brezza. A 60-40 split for the rear seats means additional room for luggage can be made easily. Overall, the Magnite feels almost just as spacious as the Maruti Suzuki Brezza, but gets funkier interiors and better boot space. Now let's take a look at the other cool bits of the Magnite, starting with the instrumentation console. Now this is a fully digital 7-inch TFT screen which Nissan calls the Advanced Drive Assist Display, and if one avoids the car around it, it looks just like the screen of a handheld gaming console. There's plenty of graphics, vivid colors and animations happening, which some would absolutely love and others wouldn't. The vivid display apart, the console also gives out an exhaustive amount of information like tire pressure monitoring system, 2 trip meters, hours driven and more. If you need to stand out in this segment, you need an exhaustive amount of feature list. The top spec model gets climate control, touchscreen infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, steering mounted audio controls, cruise control and height adjustment for the driver's seat. Also, the infotainment system is connected to high-end JBL speakers for a better aural experience. Nissan has also filtered down a few features from the more expensive Kicks SUV, like the 360-degree camera setup that can be activated with a dedicated button. And this makes parking, even in tight spots, an easy affair. Apart from that, you also get wireless charging and a tech pack which comprises an air purifier, puddle lamps and ambient lighting. Now the Magnite is based on the Renault-Nissan CMF-A platform, and the upcoming Renault compact SUV will share it as well. Now the platform might have been used before, but the Magnite debuts with Nissan's brand new 1-litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine, the HRA0. Now apart from this turbo petrol engine, you also get a 1-litre naturally aspirated petrol engine that you also see in the Renault Triber. Now what we're driving here is the 1-litre turbo engine with the Xtronic CVT gearbox. Now talking about the power figures, power output stands at 98 bhp and 152 Newton meters of torque. Right off the bat, the Magnite feels peppy. The engine feels refined, and what impresses the most is the Xtronic CVT gearbox. Nissan has managed to tune it extremely well to reduce shift shock and the rubber band effect that CVT gearboxes are generally known for. In fact, it's so good that if you modulate the throttle well, it's hard to notice that this is a CVT gearbox. Acceleration is peppy and there's plenty of torque at hand, which makes overtaking and munching highways a relaxed procedure. Nissan has also worked hard on the NVH levels and it shows. Under normal driving, the cabin feels quiet and the overall experience is a refined one. Now when you compare the Brezza to the Magnite, the Brezza has a little more horsepower, 5 more horsepower to be specific, but the Magnite has a lot more torque, 14 Nm to be specific. But what tilts the favor further towards the Magnite is that the Nissan is almost 100 kgs lighter than the Brezza, and that's what gives it the effortless performance during everyday or spirited driving. Nissan also claims a fuel efficiency figure of 17.7 kilometers per litre, which is slightly less as compared to the Maruti Suzuki Brezza automatic, which is rated at 18.76 kilometers per litre. Overall, Nissan has managed a fantastic job with the new engine and the CVT transmission, and we're very impressed with it. Now talking about ride and handling, it's clear that the Brezza suspension is tuned for the urban environment. As a result, it's set up on the softer side, because of which the low-speed ride is excellent. Minor undulations and irregularities are absorbed very well, and even the side-to-side rocking motion is extremely controlled. But as you go faster and the ruts get deeper, the Magnite suspension starts getting noisy and crashy. The thuds filter into the cabin, giving you no option but to slow down unless one has low levels of mechanical sympathy. The steering too is on the heavier side and slow to respond to inputs. It doesn't have too much feel either, and the problem is that once you turn the steering, it doesn't come back to its original position quick enough, and you really have to make an effort to bring it back. But once you get past the heaviness, the Magnite feels fine. Highway stability is very good and the car feels composed even at triple-digit speeds, which means the long-distance trips should be handled comfortably. Overall, the steering and the high-speed ride might not be the best, but it's something that can be lived with easily. First impressions of the Nissan Magnite are extremely impressive. It looks fantastic, it has enough space and it's loaded with features. It also comes with a superb engine and gearbox combination in the form of the turbo engine and the CVT gearbox. Yes, we would have preferred a more sorted suspension setup and better steering as well, but that's something that will be completely overshadowed with the Magnite's pricing. Once launched, we expect prices to start at Rs 5.5 lakhs for the non-turbo variants, while the top spec turbo CVT variant is expected to be priced at 9.5 lakhs, which will make it phenomenal value for money. We just hope Nissan sorts out its dealership and service network, because the Magnite as a product is extremely capable.